To answer the question, what is Gold DAO? It's really simple. There's a lot of apps right now that are currently tokenizing gold, and some of them are even listed on big exchanges. However, Gold DAO is the first DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, that tokenizes gold. So for the first time ever, normal everyday folks like me can actually own and govern a part of the DAO that's tokenizing gold. And while I am a fan of Bitcoin, this is by no means a hit on Bitcoin or anything like that. Bitcoin is wonderful, but you can also tokenize gold now. So it's 2025. The average person, you don't need to be a multimillionaire or anything like that. If you are, you can though buy some NFTs. But the average person can just send gold overseas. You can hire someone overseas, pay them in gold. You can add liquidity to coins in gold. You can earn fees for adding liquidity in gold. And you're basically like, where else in the world could you do this? Like I made a liquidity pool, I think about a month back. And I was like, wow, where else? Like, where else in the world can I be earning gold for providing liquidity for a meme coin? And yeah, that's the biggest advantage. It's digitalizing something that a hard asset.
Welcome back, guys. Today I'm here with Victor and Freddy, two team members of Gold DAO. And the first question for you guys is, what is Gold DAO and what's the main problem that you're solving?
Hi, thank you for having us. I'm Victor. We're right here. So that's a great question. Do you want to do introductions first, Freddie, and you can tell us a little bit before we start the questions?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Freddie. I'm a back-end engineer for the Gold DAO team. Yeah, I work primarily on developing the smart contract canisters that enable all the functionality that we have for the Gold DAO. So yeah, swapping the NFT to the GLDT, custom rewards program that we have. Yeah, I think that more or less covers it for me.
All right, awesome guys. My name is Victor, and I am the social media manager for Gold DAO. So basically, I manage the page and stuff like that. So thank you for having us. I'm really excited to be here. But to answer the question, what is Gold DAO? It's really simple. There's a lot of apps right now that are currently tokenizing gold, and some of them are even listed on big exchanges. However, Gold DAO is the first DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, that tokenizes gold. So for the first time ever, random people, not random people, but normal everyday folks like me can actually own and govern a part of the DAO that's tokenizing gold. So it's running on the internet computer, it tokenizes gold, and normal everyday people can buy into it and can govern and kind of pitch in their little grain of salt into tokenizing gold around the world.
Right. And I wanted to ask you, what do you exactly use ICP for, and why did you choose to build specifically on ICP?
Yeah, sure. I think I can take that one. So we use ICP to host all of our smart contracts, both for the back end and the front end. Because yeah, the nice thing about ICP is that you can serve static assets like HTML, JS, and CSS. So you can actually serve a website, the front end, directly from an ICP canister. So that's kind of like one thing. You have your entire back end and front end on the ICP blockchain. For the smart contract capabilities as well, like they're a lot more enhanced than a lot of the other L1s out there. So being able to store your data on there for like an actual economically viable cost is quite an important thing because we do store a lot of data. The amount of compute that you can actually do is also very generous for how much it costs on ICP. Yeah, and so we have a lot of our backend smart contracts that handle storing the NFTs, which represent the gold bars, through to our other products, which essentially turn those gold bars into fractionalized fungible tokens. And also for our governance as well, right? Like as Victor mentioned, DAO, we are a DAO, and it's a big part of us. So having the DAO on the ICP ecosystem is like a real big thing for us as well. Yeah.
By the way, guys, if you want to buy ICP or other tokens, the best platform today is BYDFI, as it offers the lowest fees in the industry. They are my favorite exchange platform, and I've partnered with them to bring you a $50 reward just for completing KYC once you sign up. So all you have to do in order to win $50 is to provide your ID after registering to the platform. In addition, you will earn 10% on your deposit amount, an additional $200 reward if your trading volume reaches $300,000 in futures contracts. This is just for a limited time, so go below this video right now, check the description, and click on my BYDFI affiliate link to get access to the exclusive bonuses that I negotiated for you.
And in your opinion, what's the advantage for the average user to have gold on chain?
Yeah, I think I'll take that one, Freddie. It's really simple. I'm a fan of a lot of people on X. One of the people I follow is what's his name, Peter Schiff, and one of the biggest things people always complain about gold. People say, "Oh, gold, how are you going to carry that? You need a whole truck to move gold across continents. You can never do it." And then what's his name? The guy from Sailor. Sailor is always criticizing. There's one example where Michael Saylor criticizes particularly gold through an airport, and he says, "Well, if you carry gold through an airport, they're going to take your gold, and nothing will will ever be possible." And while I am a fan of Bitcoin, this is by no means a hit on Bitcoin or anything like that. Bitcoin is wonderful, but you can also tokenize gold now. So it's 2025. The average person, you don't need to be a multimillionaire or anything like that. If you are, you can though buy some NFTs. But the average person can just send gold overseas. You can hire someone overseas, pay them in gold. You can add liquidity to coins in gold. You can earn fees for adding liquidity in gold. And you're basically like, where else in the world could you do this? Like I made a liquidity pool, I think about a month back. And I was like, wow, where else? Like, where else in the world can I be earning gold for providing liquidity for a meme coin? And yeah, that's the biggest advantage. It's digitalizing something that a hard asset.
Right. And
Yeah, I fully agree. I was just going to add, like, if you want to send somebody a currency, right? It's nice to know that it's actually backed by gold, because I know for a lot of countries, their specific fiat currency is, you're quite prone to a government just essentially turning the money printer on, and your money is becoming devalued every year, right? So the fact that you can send somebody effectively currency backed by gold is also a very good thing. It knows that you know that you can send it to them, and they're getting that money, and it's more or less going to keep that money, right?
yeah, so yeah, as you say, it's basically also a fact of security and being able to trust the currency or the token that you're sending because it's actually backed by gold and not backed by, for example, bonds or USD, which I wouldn't trust. And then, as Victor was saying, there's also the advantage of being able to transfer gold in seconds really seamlessly. And this is like the next step in comparison to the traditional gold ETF, for example, because you can buy gold without having to store it physically, and this is already an advantage. So you can do that with the ETF. But if you want to, for example, send that gold that you purchased, that ETF, that's really difficult, if not impossible. So basically, you would have to sell the ETF, get the cash, and then buy something else. And transportability is not that easy. But now with tokenization, everything becomes easier. And so yeah, thank you very much for the answer. I think this makes very clear what's the advantage for the average user to have on-chain gold. And I wanted to ask you, how important is compliance in your business, and what are the main challenges from a legal perspective?
Sure, I think I can touch on that a bit. I don't know if Victor, you got something to say about it as well, but yeah, compliance is quite a big thing, right? Like, it's very difficult in almost any country to just say you're going to sell some gold. Nearly every country in the world is going to have some kind of compliance process for you. If it's not just to do KYC or AML, so yeah, anti-money money laundering. So, for us, that means we've got to have a brokerage license. For us, that's Biddy. And on top of that, like I said, to comply with Swiss laws, because that at the moment is where our gold bars are held. You need a compliance officer. So yeah, the costs do increase, and the regulations that you need to abide by. You also need to follow those. I think managing that whole process and making sure you're doing it correctly, because I think it's very common. I think if you're just like the average investor, you probably might think, well, you just need to talk to whoever makes the gold, right? Just put it on chain. Why is it not moving? Why is the project not progressing as light speed? It's because of sometimes these compliance things that you need to deal with. And yeah, it's not always so straightforward, right? I don't know if Victor, you had any other points on that, but
Yeah, no, I'm not a super legal compliance expert, so I wish I could say more about about how it is. I know Gold DAO takes it very seriously. I know for example, there are checkups, routine checkups on Loomis. So the vault that Gold DAO uses is Loomis, and there's always inspections. So I know that they take well, they don't check every single one because obviously they don't have time, but they take every little 1 gram randomly and check to make sure it's the correct cereals, because again, this is a real world asset. It's not just a commodity based service, because people might think gold, oh gold, whatever, give me any gold bar. But the beauty, and also I guess legally, is that it's a real world asset project. So when you convert your tokens into gold NFT, it's not just a gold NFT, it's the gold NFT that you will get if you go to Switzerland and cash it out. So, I guess, as a social media manager, what I do know is that they take compliance very seriously, and this should be extremely bullish for anyone who wants to participate.
Thank you very much, guys.
yeah, we. Also, I was just going to add, yeah, we are audited by KPMG, and they do the reports, and it's actually at a much more granular level. I think Tether also has a product, Tether Gold, but as I understand it, their audit is more like all the gold bar is sort of pulled together, and then they check how much of the cryptocurrency token has been minted according to the level. But because of how Gold DAO has done theirs, I like Victor said, it's a one-to-one match. You can actually check the serial number is in the vault, so it's a much more granular level of auditing that goes on.
Right. And also, I was checking an interview with Paolo Arduino from Tether Gold and Tether in general. And I think he was saying that basically, usually are the big four companies, consulting companies that do the audit: KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, and EY. But when he answered the question from the interviewer saying, why don't you actually provide some prospects about the auditing that you got? It was saying that the big four actually didn't want to get involved with crypto. So I don't know if this now changed recently or not, but for now I can say it's a very good thing that you're working with a big four consulting company for the auditing. And I wanted to ask you, since we touched on that, what are the main differences between Gold DAO and Tether Gold? And how do you differentiate from these and other competitors?
I suppose the main one really is it's to do with centralization, right? At least in my opinion. So Tether Gold it's not a DAO, right? It's not effectively community governed. People are not going to vote on the code upgrades or proposals like we have in the SNS. It's literally just Tether owns this, and that's the centralization risk, right? Which I think is kind of against the sort of decentralization ethos of why. I mean, that's why we're all here, right? Like we believe in decentralizing ownership, and we believe that has a value in and of itself. But I do remember as well, if you look on, I think, Tether's website, they have a number of products, right? Right. Some of their tables where they're listing about, how much is in circulation, they do have another table where there's like a part of each token, and it's like the amount that's been quarantined. So Tether has a kill switch essentially on who can trade their tokens or send their tokens rather. But Gold DAO does not have that. We're never going to be able to stop somebody from sending their GLDT once you have it. As we touched on as well, the auditing process. I think there are a few other things out there as well, like if you actually buy the XAUT token from Tether, there's a minimum amount of something like 50 troy ounces, which I think last time I checked, well, I just had to do that in my head, but I think it's around $100,000 if you want to buy it from them. But obviously, you could just go onto another exchange and you can buy a very smaller amount. Obviously, it's slightly different with Gold DAO. You can buy the gold NFT from Bitty, the Bitty exchange, and there you only have to buy 1 gram. And 1 gram, again, last time I checked, it's something around $100. So the bar to entry of at least is significantly lower, especially if you're buying from like a regulated exchange. Yeah, I don't know if you had any more points to add on that, Victor.
I like how you set the bar to entry. It's very low because it's a gold bar. I just thought that's all I wanted to add. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, guys. And yeah, I really liked how you answered this question, Freddy, because you touched a very important point, which is censorship resistant. This is very important in crypto, and we don't see that with Tether. Actually, we saw many times that Tether reverted transactions. Sometimes they do that because they get involved with FBI investigations and stuff. But if we look at the original vision of crypto and decentralization, what Tether is doing is not really matching this original view of crypto. And so I think it's very important to actually have a gold stablecoin, let's call it that way, that is actually censorship resistant, and so that transactions cannot be reverted. So this is very cool. And I wanted to ask you guys, would you like to provide a more general overview of how the DAO works and how the GLDT token works and how the GLD NFTs works? Just for the average user that maybe didn't yet learn about Gold DAO.
Yeah, as I said, we use the ICP blockchain. We build on top of that, and we have 3 main products. The first one is the gold NFT, and they come in different sizes. So you can buy a 1 gram, 10 gram, 100 gram, and a 1 kilo. And the data in those NFTs is all on chain as well, obviously. And they represent, as we talked about, the actual gold bars in those vaults, and they're audited and all that good stuff, right? So then the question is, well, you have the gold bar, but then you kind of want it to be more of a fungible and fractionalized token, like more like a fungible token, right? So we have this smart contract where you more or less you're minting GLDT, but when you mint that GLDT, you give the canister your 1 gram, let's say a 1 gram NFT, and that canister or smart contract is going to give you back a ratio of 100 GLDT to 1 gram. So yeah, if you gave me a 1 gram NFT, you're going to get back 100 GLDT. 10 grams, you're going to get 1,000, right? And then, so now at this point, you have fractionalized the gold bars into very small pieces, so you can effectively send somebody a really tiny amount of gold, right? You could pay for a coffee, a pizza, if those services exist and they accept GLDT, you could literally do it with that. And then the final product, which we're currently in the works of, is USDG. So this is a stable coin collateralized by GLDT. And obviously it's pegged to 1 USD. So yeah, you can imagine where the uses of that come in, DeFi and all that stuff. But those are the three main like products that we have. And then as we said, we're a DAO, so we use a DAO framework called the SNS. So that's something that Dfinity, the foundation that developed ICP, also brought on as like a product, let's say. So anybody is free to create their own DAO on top of this framework, and it's pretty easy, and it provides a very robust way of essentially creating a governance token that can be distributed to those who buy into this initial launch. And with those governance tokens, they can then participate in, if we need to do a code upgrade, they can vote on it. If we just want to do like a motion proposal, just asking a question, how does the community feel about something? We can do one of those proposals. So it is a very robust framework. There's a lot to it. But yeah, I think that more or less covers like the big areas of what you're asking.
Thank you. Yeah,
I
it
don't know if
was
there's
perfect.
anything more specific.
Hey, I'd like to add a little bit more, Federico, if that's accepted. So from the technical side, I the fact that Freddie said, yeah, the NNS is easy. I have no idea how to how to deploy onto the NNS or anything like that. But from the financial side, I do want to hit there's a couple of things that are very, very important to how the DAO works. So number one, the revenue for the DAO comes from the transactions. There's two. Well, one of them's not revenue, but it plays the role as revenue. So there's a transaction on all the GLDT fees. So anytime somebody sends gold to someone else or gold token, GLDT token, there's a 0.10 GLDT fee, which is roughly above 10 cents, about 11 cents. So anytime someone does that, the DAO gets that amount of gold and then later on uses that to buy and burn Gold DAO token. So that's one of the funding mechanisms that the DAO uses to build revenue. There's also a huge neuron. For those that don't know what neurons is or new to ICP, it's basically the staking mechanism in the NNS. There's a neuron, not of Gold DAO, but a neuron of ICP, right? The native token. And that neuron is roughly 550,000 ICP. So that neuron is just kind of there, kind of like a little wealth fund. And that neuron is staked, thus it's earning ICP rewards, right? And then those ICP rewards are then taken and they are used to buy and burn Gold DAO token. So the DAO has those two things going on. And obviously, once GLDT staking, there's going to be like new things. The transaction fees for USDG for those people that prefer dollar denominated coins or tokens. But right now, that's kind of that mechanism. So as far as the technical side, I can't really tell you too much. But as far as the economic side, that's how that works. So if you buy into the DAO, you're buying into a self-purchasing DAO that has 550,000 ICP. That's just self-purchases. And then also, when the GLDT tokens are placed as liquidity for things like meme coins or stable coins or whatever ecosystem coins, anytime somebody transacts in a decentralized exchange, a swap exchange, there's that 0.10 GLDT fee going and going and going. So anytime someone's arbitraging on the markets or sending money to buy or sell services and goods and services with GLDT token, that's a little fractions of gold that the DAO is collecting to then buy more Gold DAO token and burn it. So if you check on the stats, Freddie might give us more exact numbers. I think there's roughly about $400 a day being bought and burned automatically every single day. So that's also some of the mechanisms that I wanted to include on there. It's very important.
No, it's a very good point. Thank you for adding that, Victor. And yeah, I would also like to add it's one of those things like the nice thing about this project is the more people use this product and the more it grows, the more these fees add up and the more we can give back to the governance token holders, right? And yeah, like Victor said, we already have it's not just ICP, right? We're also giving back OGY tokens, the ICP, the Gold DAO, soon to be Water Neuron tokens as well. And then hopefully, I think at some point in the future, actual GLDT as a reward. So yeah, it's good.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. And I wanted to ask you, what are your plans now? What's your roadmap from here going forward?
So right now, we're pretty close to getting GLDT staking finished, and along with that, like at the same time, we're going to have a new unified like dashboard or front end that incorporates all of our products into basically one website that you go to. So you can get your Neuron staking rewards for being a governance holder, governance staker rather. If you want to stake your GLDT in the future, if there's anything related to USDG, it will all just be on one website that you go to. But yeah, like I said, the GLDT staking and the new front end dashboard, that's going to be coming out very, very soon. And then I think after that, we're going to be working on like releasing USDG, which will be our third and sort of biggest or last milestone. And then after that, it's a case of making it like real cross-chain, right? We want to get into as many ecosystems as we can so that we can start letting other projects use our tokens, GLDT and USDG. And we've already seen it a bit in the ICP ecosystem, actually. Just to sort of dive off topic a little bit, there are other SNSs or other DAOs within the ICP ecosystem who have decided to use a portion of their treasury and convert it into GLDT. So I think that's already like a really good use case, right? Like you want to have some kind of sort of treasury management, right? And we think that's actually a really good usage for our products.
Right. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. And is there anything else you want to share with the community?
Yeah, I want to tell the community, guys. I said this like last week. I don't know if this. I think this is being pre-recorded, but I told people if you make a little bit of money, get some GLDT. You know, we all love holding things that go to the moon and move a lot. It's crypto. I get it. I love that stuff. But at the same time, sometimes when you get a little win, you know, just as Freddie said, large projects are looking into GLDT as a form of treasury. And we should all have our own little treasuries. It might not be in the millions of dollars, but you can have your own little treasury in gold. So make a good trade, get a little bit of gold. If you have a little extra tokens, make a one-sided liquidity for a GLDT pair. And if your token goes up, you basically people will arbitrage and you know bring gold right into the palm of your hands. And let me tell you, it's beautiful when you see, well, it's not beautiful because obviously there's a lot of chaos, but it's beautiful when if things are not going great and people are scared and everything, and then you look at your little stash of GLDT and it's just sitting there so stable, so beautiful, gold, and it's a good feeling, guys. So do that. Add liquidity if you for projects. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but it's always good to have a little gold treasury and obtain some GLDT tokens. I will say one more thing. If you do have large amounts, the pools might not be deep enough, so you can always go to the Biddy website and actually buy an NFT and then convert it into tokens. If you have super duper large amounts, it's also cheaper if you have large amounts than lower amounts. I think the spread is a little is thinner when you buy that. I don't know the exact numbers, but I was doing the math, and I think if you buy 1 gram, it might not be as convenient as if you buy like 1 kilogram. So the reason I don't remember is because I don't have enough to buy a whole a whole kilogram. But yeah, that's how you can get some GLDT tokens.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I also cannot afford a 1 kilogram bar right now, but no, they were very good points, and I also use it right now as like a kind of like a safe haven as well. I have like a small bag of GLDT that I'm always continuously increasing. Right, it's becoming like a bit of a nest egg. So, but yeah, otherwise, if you guys want to get involved, we have Telegram and Open Chat. We're quite active on Twitter as well. Victor's very active on Twitter. And you can always visit our website, golddao.org. Yeah, get in touch.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. So yeah, I will leave your links in the description, both the social media and your website. And guys, I think that's all for today. Thanks for watching. And if you want more interviews like this one, don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you in the next episode.